Dragon Ball Super has done a hell of a lot to really further Vegeta's character. I mean, Vegeta has so much character development that it's kind of crazy. I mean, throughout the duration of Z and Super, he's just constantly getting all this development. I don't know. It's almost like he's Toriyama's favorite character, but everybody thinks he hates him because of how he does him and, you know, how he gives him the second fiddle. But today I wanted to talk about Vegeta and whether or not he was able to retain / maintain / keep his Furious Mutation power-up that he got during the whole My Bulma shit that went down with Beerus in Dragon Ball Super and Battle of Gods, the movie. So before we get started, be sure to leave a like down below and follow me on Twitter because that's where this idea came from Twitter. So to kind of elaborate, once again, my Twitter's at DFreeDeepZHD, but to elaborate for you guys, I had a subscriber message me on Twitter, as you guys should, because I am always on Twitter. I always get notifications. I may come back a little late because I'm a little busy, but it is what it is. He asked me how I thought Vegeta got his God Key, essentially, and I talked to him a little bit about it, and he brought this to my attention, and, you know, he also gave me a link, so shout out to you, bro. I appreciate it, and I told him, hey, you gave me a good video topic. I don't think anybody's done this, and if you guys know me, I'm always looking for topics nobody's doing, but I thought it was interesting to talk about whether or not Vegeta was able to retain that power-up, because a lot of people kind of looked at it in the same vein they look at Gohan's power-ups, where it's like when he was a kid, where it's like, you know, he gets a rage boost and it lasts for a minute or so, and then he goes down, he's depleted, you know, his power level drops back, like that Raditz shit. When Gohan was getting pissed off and he's like, leave my daddy alone, he came bursting out of the pod, his power spiked to over 1,000, he hits Raditz and he's back down to like, what, 3, 4, like a regular human level. And it's like, you know, that always happened to him as a kid until he was able to harness it when he got the power up from Elder Kai, etc, etc. But a lot of people looked at that as that because obviously Vegeta was enraged, there was a lot of emotion there, and if you guys know, Saiyans are always, you know, their emotions are just, you know, they're very, very important as far as Saiyans and their evolutions throughout transformations, etc, etc. So as far as that goes, I think that Vegeta was able to actually retain that power, mold it into his own, and then, you know, further that power into what he becomes with the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. So elaborate, no, I don't think that Vegeta got God Key from fighting Beerus. I still think that he probably got it during the ritual because that's the most likely scenario. I know, it's kind of funny, just a little quick story. I had that idea when I first saw the ritual. I take to Twitter, I asked Rhymestyle, he's like, no, I don't think so. Because I was like, there's no way he could watch this fight, but he's sitting there watching the fight directly after the ritual, and they specifically state, you cannot watch this fight if you're not a god. That's why they put emphasis on Dende being a god at that point in time, and him being able to sense the fight. They explicitly stated it, but yeah, Vegeta watched the whole damn fight between Goku and Beerus, and I asked Rhyme, he's like, no, I don't think so. Next week, he's like, yo, it's, yo, no, I have a theory he's a god. And I was like, damn it, Rhyme, that was my idea. But, you know, I don't get credit for it, but no, I'm just playing. It is what it is, you know, it's all love, no hate, nothing like that. But that's pretty much what I think happened. I think that's the most logical because obviously at this point, unless when Vegeta unveils his form to Frieza and he explains where he's like, oh, you didn't know I was a Super Saiyan, haha, I've been a Super Saiyan for years. Unless when he unveils that form to Frieza and Frieza's in shock, they do another flashback and show a ritual happen, I don't see it happening. Because if you think about it logically, Vegeta has been with Whis and Beerus on that planet for almost a year. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's time skips. They don't say shit, but there is time skips in this series. It's been about 10 months that Vegeta's been there or so. 10 to 12 months he's been on Whis' planet training. Goku's already been there for about 4 or 5 months now at this point. You know, it's kind of all over the place, but they don't say shit. They just skip around and you wouldn't even notice if you don't pay attention. So I think that, you know, from there, he was able to mold it because it's weird because if you guys recall, Whis, when he showed up in like episode 16 or something, the episode that he took Vegeta in as a pupil, he said, hey, you know, you've gotten a lot stronger. You know, you're stronger than the last time I saw you, and if you keep this up and if you learn how to control your ki, you could surpass Goku. And he was like, whoa. He said that, and that kind of, you know, threw a red flag in my head because at that point Goku's a god. You know, he's telling Vegeta he could surpass the power of a Super Saiyan god if all he had to do was learn how to control his ki. But he also says in the movie that that's hard to do because, you know, Beerus still hasn't done that after all these years. I believe he also said that in anime too, in Super, later on down the line when Vegeta actually was there and Goku showed up later. But I just thought that was interesting that he said that, like, you know, you could surpass him if you learn how to harness your ki. And if you guys recall, prior to that, in the episode prior to that as well, I believe, there were brief instances where we saw Vegeta standing on a mountain, looking all dusty like he's been standing there for months, because he probably has, because I believe Bulma said she hadn't seen him in months. And he had been training, apparently, probably mental training. He wasn't doing any physical running, sparring, that type of shit. He was doing that other Zudo, I don't know, type of training. But I don't even know if Zudo's a word. But apparently, you know, that was enough for him. And there was instances where his power was surging, like it was just flying all over the place. All his aura was just all over the place. So you could tell that he had gotten stronger. And it was similar to the aura that he had from the Furious Mutation. And the Furious Mutation, it was a significant power-up because it caused Beerus to have to use 10% of his power, which implies that, obviously, Vegeta's Super Saiyan 2 form is way stronger than Goku's Super Saiyan 3 form was. So it's very interesting to note that, you know, taking that form that Vegeta had, Super Saiyan 2, molding it, mastering it, applying more training to it, and getting it stronger, you know, that's sort of like the catalyst for him to be able to become a god. Because it's weird, because, you know, we still need God Ki for Vegeta to become a god, and if you don't take into consideration the ritual and how he did it with the ritual, etc., if you don't consider that, in the latest episode of Super, they're in this hyperbolic type time chamber, god chamber type of shit, where, you know, they're not able to move around. Goku and Vegeta, spoiler alert, but my bad, guys, but they're not able to move around, but the only way they can move around is if they harness their ki, stop it from leaking out, and they control it, and, you know, they consume it, and well, consume isn't the right word, but they control it, and they harness it, and then from there, they're able to move. And Vegeta even said, hey, is this God Ki? Because they're in this room with nothing but God Ki in this atmosphere, and he was like, damn, this is God Ki. So him being exposed to it, maybe that's how he gets God Ki, we don't know. But as far as it goes, I think that Vegeta was able to get significantly stronger because that Furious Mutation pushed him to a new height. He learned how to tap into it in the months that passed, and then from there he was able to further it, and then ultimately we took him in as an apprentice, and then that's how we got to the god form. So I don't know, I just thought that was an interesting topic. Like I said, I know a lot of people didn't do it, and I'm always looking for the topics nobody's doing, because, you know, it helps me out, of course, because, you know, people are looking for shit that nobody's doing, and for whatever reason nobody's doing it. But no, I just, you know, I feel like with stuff like reviews, you guys can go get that everywhere, but I want to have some unique content. Even though we're all doing Dragon Ball discussions, I wanted to have some unique Dragon Ball discussions. So let me know you guys' thoughts on whether or not Vegeta was able to maintain that form, mold it into his own, and, you know, better that form. It's not an official form, of course, because it's just a rage boost ultimately, but still, the Furious Mutation. So be sure to leave a like down below, subscribe if you're new. All my links will be in the description. Be sure to check out the description for all my social media links and my other channel. If you guys want to follow me, get in touch with me, that's the best way to do it. But I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.